The situation in the Zaporizhia direction is no different in its dynamics from the Avdiivka front. According to war correspondents, the armed forces of Ukraine are desperately resisting, trying to prevent the capture of the village of RABOTINO by the Russian army. Moreover, Russian soldiers taking a direct part in the battles for RABOTINO said that the armed forces of Ukraine are using a huge number of drones and artillery shells to deter the advance of Russian troops. According to military expert and political figure of the Zaporizhia region, Vladimir Rogov, what is happening on the battlefield has once again confirmed the fact that all statements by the Kiev authorities that the Ukrainian armed forces are experiencing munition famine are blatant lies and propaganda. According to him, the village of RABOTINO is now the hottest point on the Zaporizhia front line, where the fate of the armed forces of Ukraine and the Kiev regime is being decided. At the moment, Russian troops have managed to take control of 60% of the territory of RABOTINO, taking full control of this village's southern and central parts. Vladimir Rogov notes that despite the desperate resistance of the Ukrainian army, Russian troops are in full control of the situation and dominate the battlefield. Vladimir Rogov also explained why the Ukrainian command is so desperately trying to prevent the capture of the village of RABOTINO by the Russian army. According to him, if the Russians capture this village, then the so-called RABOTINO ledge, which was created by the Ukrainian army during the summer counteroffensive, as a result of which the armed forces of Ukraine lost 166,000 soldiers and officers, will be fully eliminated. The loss of RABOTINO will deal a crushing and painful image blow to the Kiev authorities and the Ukrainian High Military Command. The loss of RABOTINO will be much more painful to feel in Kiev than the loss of Avdiivka, as this will finally nullify even those meager achievements of the armed forces of Ukraine that were achieved during the summer counteroffensive, as a result of which a huge number of Ukrainian soldiers died. Let me remind you that on February 20, 2024, the head of the Russian military department, Sergei Shoigu, officially announced that during the summer counteroffensive, the armed forces of Ukraine lost 166,000 soldiers, more than 800 tanks, and 2,400 infantry fighting vehicles, never reaching the set goals on the battlefield. Returning to the battle for RABOTINO, it becomes clear that the Ukrainian General Staff is doing everything so that this village does not come under the control of Russian troops. So, it became known that on February 23, the Ukrainian High Military Command transferred not only one of its last reserves to the RABOTINO area, but also the 3rd Elite Brigade under the designation Spartan. This brigade consisted of well-motivated Ukrainian nationalists and foreign mercenaries. In addition, this brigade was equipped with the most modern NATO equipment and Western heavy weapons. The Ukrainian command hoped very much that this elite nationalist brigade would be able to stop the Russians in RABOTINO. However, unfortunately for the Ukrainian generals, 2 days later, on February 25, war correspondents reported that Russian combat aviation literally buried the village of RABOTINO with hundreds of heavy-duty guided bombs of the FAB family, as a result of which the elite brigade Spartan was completely destroyed. It is not known exactly how many militants of this nationalist brigade died. However, judging by the intercepted radio messages, the Spartan Brigade completely lost its combat capability in RABOTINO, and those few militants who were lucky enough to stay alive were forced to retreat. According to military experts, against the background of a catastrophic shortage of manpower, the liquidation of the elite Brigade Spartan caused significant damage to the combat capability of the Ukrainian army. Moreover, Russia also continues to successfully eliminate the reserves of the Ukrainian army and foreign mercenaries in other sectors of the front, preventing them from joining the ranks of the armed forces of Ukraine on the battlefield. So, it became known that on the night of February 26, the Russian Iskander-M ballistic missile hit the train station in Konstantinovka. It is reported that the missile strike was carried out at the moment when a train with Ukrainian reserves and foreign mercenaries arrived at the station. Even though the Ukrainian authorities hide the consequences of this missile strike by showing only the destroyed building of the train station, Russian telegram channels claim that about 80 Ukrainian soldiers and 50 foreign mercenaries were killed as a result of this missile attack. Let me remind you that the city of Konstantinovka is an important and large railway hub, which is used by the Ukrainian army to transfer its reserves and foreign mercenaries to almost all directions of the front. The fact that Russia will continue to launch missile strikes against strategic and military facilities of this city does not cause doubts in anybody. Meanwhile, on February 26, advisor to the head of the Donetsk People's Republic, Gagin, said that Russian troops managed to destroy the US Abrams tank in Avdiivka direction of the front. He noted that the destroyed US tank was the same combat vehicle that fired at Russian troops in the village of Petrovskoye, which was shown by the Ukrainian military in a propaganda video a few days ago. Moreover, he also added that all Western military equipment is vulnerable to Russian means of destruction, and that the rest of the NATO military equipment in Ukraine will share the sad fate of US, British, and German tanks.